Sit back and relax.
No, it's not exactly one of those kind of deals, It's not.
No, it's not. Well, here we are again.
Yeah.
And we've just been, extremely busy, so that's why we haven't made any new videos. And, it's not easy to come up with something to say. I was going to ask you, in today's world, do you think that Derek and the Dominos would have ever made it?
I don't know. The sound that we had was quite different than, what a little bit I hear of today's music, because it's a lot of thumping and not a lot of clarity in a band. I haven't really heard a modern band, to have a qualified, opinion. Because I'm not up to date on anything. I know it must have, it would have stood a pretty damn good chance because it's better than anything that's out there now.
What about Guitar Heroes? Do you think it would be the same today as it was back in the 70s?
I don't know about all that. That Guitar Hero thing.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's just guitar ego.
Well, that's what it was all about in the 70s.
Yeah,
It was like, who was the best
being
guitar
rock
player?
star and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It seems to me that it's still kind of like that. Only they're older.
They're older.
They can get up and down. Like Mick Jagger, he can get from one end of that stage to the other pretty quick, to be an old dude. Yeah, he's older than me, that's for sure. He was older than me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. Well, I mean, when I think about it, I think it would be much more difficult today because everything is just so pop oriented, or kind of like
the songs don't make any sense today. Our songs are story songs. They paint a picture. You can listen to them and close your eyes, and you can see it made a scene, a visual, and that's the essence of a great song. Is one that will take you there, it'll take you out of this place you are and put you where you want to be, what you imagine to be, which that song, how you interpret that with your internal self. It takes you away. And it could be one song taking somebody one direction and the same song somebody another direction, or somebody's not at all because they're looking for something else. But essence of great art is it moves you. It has a feeling, whether it's painting or playing or music or a band and them being tight and having all of that together. It's that the OJs, getting their steps down. That's an art form. That's just not some guys up there trying to look cool. No, they work real hard for all of that. And as an art form, and not everybody could do that, Like real soul music, real soul singers, not what they call R&B today, hip hop stuff, I don't even go there, because what I do here, I won't waste my valuable time listening to nonsense. And that's what most of it is today, is nonsense. And what was really stayed is old country, real country music. I got to say that guy, Chris Stapleton, he's real talented. He's keeping old school alive.
Well, Amy Winehouse was until, she passed. I thought she was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, she was fine.
She was into the old.
But she couldn't stop, drugging and drinking, and it'll kill your ass, man. If you don't stop it, it'll flat lay you out of here. You know, I guess it might be like that thing, making room for somebody who isn't, you know, because there's always somebody to fill that gap. And you don't know until you're like 73 years old and you turn around and your life is going, boom, you know, what kind of gap that was. That was quick. You know, 50 years from 23 to 73. Wow, that went like that, you know. I'm glad I was busy and doing stuff that I can talk about, you know, building a farm, you know, doing things that I could only just dreamt of doing, you know, raising horses and cows. And I did that. I wanted to do that, you know. What do you want, little thing? You want to be in the movies? You want to get in the movies with us? She's the sweetest thing in the world. Yeah. Noisy but sweet.
So, I lost my train of thought. Carry on.
Well, we were talking about this modern music, you know. It's just
They're
a
all
phase.
well.
You know?
It always changes. You know, with every decade, it changes and it starts becoming something else. I wish that people would care more about how they write. I think there's a big, you know.
It seems to me that most people are just trying to make a lot of money. You know, hey, ease up with all that. They're trying to make a lot of money, you know, and be famous. And money and fame is not where it's at when you're talking about art. You know, creativity. And
Well, I think it's funny too how so many people quote borrow stuff from the older artists. And I remember
they steal it. That's called stealing.
Sly Stone's sister Rose and we were talking, and she was talking about how, you know, how they had used a lot of Sly stuff and just stole it. And people, I mean, back, they're still doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Just this past week, a couple of people have been sued over the same kind of thing, just
I don't
taking
know,
stuff.
they just get so tight.
They call it borrowing. I call it stealing.
Mick Jagger didn't borrow shit from me. They just flat out didn't give me credit on just want to see his face. And they did a couple of other people like that. So it's just not like
And like Bruno,
they've been borrowing that for 50 years.
Bruno Mars, you know, just got sued about the song. Not these people have been trying to get a hold of him for a long time because he just flat out stole an entire song and had the big hit with it. And you know, it's just like,
why that is.
I guess they think we're all so freaking old that we don't know what's going on, or we're dead.
Well, Delaney used to tell me, he said, "Go ahead, I want you to steal from me because I'm going to be stealing from you." And he did.
Well,
I swear to God he did.
He kept his
he
word.
did. And he did steal from me. But I didn't have he didn't have anything that I wanted or needed because I was already functioning, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did. He said, he stole from me because I'm going to steal from you.
Yeah.
Ah, damn he did, man. I forget how many years later he recorded my song Country Life that was on my first record, made it out, gave himself writer's credit for my song. You know that.
Yes, I have the paperwork.
Yeah. But so it's gone on all fronts, you know, all sides of the track, you know, as it were. You know?
Well, I just give you an example. You know, you can't copyright a title. So Delaney wrote a song called Give Peace a Chance. And one day he got a check for Give Peace a Chance, but it was the John Lennon one.
Yeah.
And I was like an idiot. I didn't know anything. And I was like, oh, you helped to write Give Peace a Chance? And he just twiddled on that mustache and never answered the question.
Never answered.
It was like, it never said yes
That
or
was
no.
the answer.
That was it. Right.
Yeah, that was the answer.
But, you know, I mean, he would do things like that. He would write songs with the same title.
What luck, you know?
Exactly. Oh, dear.
Oh, man.
Can't do that. Some people get away with that kind of stuff.
You know, I've been blessed with enough ability to play and sing and anything in a creative, the creative world, that there's no one that has anything that I need or that I want. Because I have all the riches that one man could possibly have. I have more that is just overflowing from me. And riches not meaning dollars and cents, but leaving something worthwhile to this world, for mankind. When I leave the scene, I'll be around another 20 years or so. But when I do leave here, I want to leave things that are class, have integrity, that still hold up, 20, 30 years, 40, 100 years from now. There is some music that I've been involved in, and it'll always be around. It certainly will.
Well, don't you see yourself writing more?
Yeah, but crafting something and living and writing is a different thing altogether. Anybody can write a song with moon, June, tune, and croon, but living a life and having something, emotion that you feel and you can share, and it comes across and it comes out of you, and like that, to where it'll make you cry, There was a lady that one of my paintings, she told me, she said, I looked at it and it made me just break down and weep. And I said, I know. That very painting did the same thing for me. After I finished it, I stood back and just made me start crying. But that's how real art is, Music is just that same thing. It could take you away. I guarantee you, everybody that can tell you exactly where they were when the first time they heard Layla or Thorn Tree in the Garden. Everybody can tell you exactly where they were when they heard My Sweet Lord. Everybody can do that. They can tell you exactly where they were when JFK was assassinated. So there's some things that we as artists produce, that have a long-lasting effect, not just a knowledgeable effect, but something that's meaningful, that actually changes people.
Right. So, I mean, the kind of songs you're talking about when you're talking about crafting songs are like the songs that you hear out of Nashville. Very crafted songs.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get some very rare ones that really hit home, and they came from a place that you can't explain it. But you have to be, you have to be open for that.
Yeah, I mean, there were great writers like Roger Cook and Harlan Howard.
Yeah.
Out of Nashville, just some people that were channeled.
Felice and Boudleaux Bryant were.
Oh my goodness!
Fantastic.
Riding. They wanted some materials. They needed some material, and they're driving from Chattanooga to Nashville to deliver. That was Dale Bryant's mom and daddy, and
he ran.
He was the head of BMI forever.
Yeah.
And a good man. But they were coming. They didn't have a song, and on the way they passed Rocky Top. Rocky Top, dude. So I mean, those things. That's how all that happens when you're open up, and that's your calling, as it were.
Do you think there are writers like that today?
I don't know. There must be, but anymore, I would take something and. Just for the sake of being commercial and try to be clever with it. I've heard some songs that, all right, and I go, yeah, and then the next thing you know, it's like back of a pickup truck with Budweiser.
I think you still have to stand your ground. And if you want to hear great songs, you have to write great songs.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room for everybody who's like sincere about writing or has given up the idea that they could have a hit. That's not true. You never know what a hit can be.
Oh man.
And they'll tell you that. The top people in the business will tell you that.
He stopped loving her today. I mean,
yeah.
Wow, Harlan Howard. But there's some great songs that will stay on forever.
I think there are people out there who are sincere about the art form and really want to do great songs. I think Adele is one of the people that she's got a great voice. She's putting out great stuff. And there's some other people. I'm just getting back into the, like even listening and reading about all that stuff. So
yeah.
It's amazing what's going on, actually.
Stevie Wonder's a great songwriter.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. He plugged in,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, he'd still remember my footsteps.
We should call him up.
Stevie. Anyway, it was fun having a little chat about, the state of art today, the music and
Well, it's all up in the air, and quite honestly, it's so like nobody really knows what's going on, except I can tell you that streaming is the king of all of all music.
You've been checking in on all this stuff. My ear is not to the ground.
Well,
in the music world,
mine hasn't been in a very long time.
No.
I hated all that stuff. I hated it a long time ago.
The only thing that's been going on outside of what we have done and what we do is what I did. And that continues to create some kind of a storm around me. With all the Layla stuff. They're always re-releasing different configurations of this, just like the All Things Was Past.
Yeah.
And they're going to always be doing that because that's how they make money.
They're finding new ways of marketing stuff. So people who are what they call the true fans will buy anything. It does not matter what it is.
Goodness, yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. So they'll release something like the box set, then they'll release records that are colored red.
Yeah, so they can have something to say about this against that one,
Yeah, it's just.
I'm glad they do. It's
just all about making money off of this and money off of that and money off of it. So.
Well, I didn't get into, and we did not get into this life to make money, because money comes and goes, but a true art, true music, a true story that touches you, that'll stay forever, and that's what's really worthwhile.
Well, you do the thing you love.
Yeah.
You should be able. Everybody should do the thing they love.
Leave a mark, a big one.
You don't have to leave a big mark.
Why not?
If you don't want to.
But if you're gonna do it, just do it.
Well, that's the thing. You only get what you put into something. So.
Can't get something out of something if you haven't put something into something.
I think I just said that without it being so complicated.
Yeah, well, I hear complex out of simplicity. That keeps a smile on my face,
That also helps you write really great songs.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but you can whip them out, honey.
Well, you gotta have lived a life to write about.
Well, it's not just that, but whenever you come across somebody that you're willing to co-write with, they better be fast.
Yeah.
Because every time I ask you about, well, how did that go with whoever you co-wrote something with, you're like, well, they didn't really write much of anything.
No.
So, I know how fast you work. So it just comes out of it.
It's because it's real. It comes off the top, Not sitting around trying to figure out how to rhyme it, with something else and make that make sense and piece together some kind of a stupid story. It's always the same,
Right. But then there are cases where you've had songs sitting in the back of your head for decades.
Slip Away, Ray Charles, boy. Oh man. it doesn't get any better than that. Singing, he sang every word, every note, and every line exactly like I sang it. Man, I'm like, that's the highest compliment ever.
Yeah, I would imagine so. All right. Well, thanks again for another lovely chat.
Yeah, it's fun. Really interesting to see what we come up with sometimes.
And you're wearing your rose-colored glasses.
Yeah. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through, these rose-colored glasses remind me of you. They still remind me of you. Yeah. Con Hunley. Should have been Hun Conley. Conley, huh?
Oh, Lord. All right, bye.